Hi, I'm Danielle from Danielle's Book Buzz, and I'm an independent consultant with Usborne Books and More. Today, I'm so excited to show you two new books in one of my favorite series. So, first off, the series is The Wrong Fairy Tale, and these are the two original books. We have Goldilocks and the Three Pigs and Jack and the Three Bears. So, essentially, it takes two different fairy tales and mixes them together, and the characters interact with each other. They solve any of the problems that arise, and the ending's totally different than the originals, but it's really fun. So they are Kane Miller England. They're $12.99. So those are the first two, but now we have two more. So the first one is Red Riding Hood and the Three Billy Goats Gruff. So really cute. It kind of starts at like the end of the Billy Goats Gruff story, where they already like kicked the troll out and he went flying. And then Little Red Riding Hood shows up and they smell all the good stuff that she has in her basket. She encounters the big bad wolf. He's doing his thing, running to grandma's house to get there before she gets there. But they encounter the three Billy Goats, and they do the same thing they did to the troll, and they kick him out of the way, and so he's not a problem anymore. So they meet Little Red Riding Hood. They realize that they are in the wrong fairy tale, and they decide, let's share the food. She's headed to grandma's. Let's go to grandma's. In the meantime, the troll lands in grandma's vegetable patch, and he eats her vegetables, but he's not used to eating vegetables, so he wants something more. So he barges into grandma's house, but she saw him out the window eating her vegetables, so she already hid under the bed, so she's safe. Then finally, Little Red Riding Hood and the Billy Goats Gruff show up, and they're talking to grandma, and the troll is pretending to be grandma so that he can eat them. But grandma saves the day. She has her knitting needles, and she pokes the troll, and he goes outside. He runs out, and there's a scuffle, and it gets resolved, and they become friends, and grandma and Little Red Riding Hood and the Billy Goats Gruff become friends, and they help each other out. So really, really cute. Then the next one is Cinderella and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, so really cute. So let's get into this one. So the dwarves are coming home from a long day of work, and they hear all this banging and crashing, and they go to check out what it is. So it's Cinderella in her house, and she's working really hard, and her stepsisters and everyone are going to the ball, and she can't go. So the seven dwarves knock on the door. They ask her what's wrong. She tells them about the ball. They're like, well, why don't you go anyway? She says, I don't have a dress. And I don't have an invitation. So they're like, oh, we'll help you. So just like the mice help Cinderella in the actual story, the seven dwarves help her here. And the seven dwarves have different names than they normally do. So there's helpful, there's snappy, there's choppy, etc. So when it comes to shoes, her shoes aren't great. So she asks helpful. She likes his boots, and she asks him, what size are your boots? And they end up fitting her. So she wears the boots, and they realize they're in the wrong fairy tale. She goes to the ball. The prince falls in love with her. She runs out, and in the process, her foot gets stuck, and she has to abandon the boot. And the dwarves help her get home in their little mine cart. And she apologizes for losing Helpful's boot, says she'll find it, she'll get it back. Then the prince goes looking for her to see who fits the boot. So he goes to Cinderella's house, and she's like, oh, that's Helpful's boot. And she sends him over to the dwarf's house, and they're home, and the boot fits, so he gets his boot back. But her stepsisters are still being really mean to her. So she decides to move in with the dwarves, and they have a gold mine, and she helps manage it, and everything works out in the end. So really cute, really different than the original. I love how they're mixed up and have the different characters. So we have Cinderella and the Seven Dwarfs, Red Riding Hood and the Three Billy Goats Gruff, and then the two originals, which are Jack and the Three Bears, and Goldilocks and the Three Pigs. So you can find all of these on my website. They are each Kane Miller England. They're $12.99. You can find them on my website, which is daniellebookbuzz.com. And thanks for watching. Bye.